Welcome to the show!
Are you lighting dumpsters on fire?
Last night was bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot.
He's like, oh, it was great. We used to live in the subway tunnels.
Good old innocent fun. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, coming at you from a beautiful day in Brooklyn. The windows are open, the 43-degree air is coming in, and we're ready to have a good time. With me, as always, for the first time officially, my co-host,
So not
as always. Not as always.
You know, I'm just used to saying as always. But hey, listen, new era of the pod, baby. I'm psyched to have it. One of my good friends, like closest friends, the big dog, baby, holding hands across the table. Ray Zawodni, everybody.
Holding hands, making plans. Ray's here.
Oh, yeah, There he is, baby. As always, if you listen to the pod, rate, review, and subscribe. These episodes are out every Wednesday. If you listen on Spotify, God damn it, leave a 5-star review. Just click that 5-star rating, and hey, leave a little comment. Love the pod. That's all we need. That's all we want. But thanks for listening, and, let's get into it.
I'd even settle for a 4.5-star review.
Honestly, if they gave 4.5, I would take it. I would take it. I think our average is about 4.5.
Oh, okay. So we'll give us a 5 then.
We got a couple early on. Sometimes the ladies go on there and leave 1 star after some things that my former co-host would say.
Oh,
that were aggressive. Let's get right into it. Our guest today, another great friend, someone who we wanted on, a returning guest.
Yes, second time.
Pittsburgh native, New York City comedian. Guys, put your hands together. Collin Chamberlin.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Thank you. Thunderous.
Isn't that nice, dude?
That was nice.
The whole fucking audience is here for you.
That's great. But it's such a... you know what I like about you, Dylan?
Yeah.
Is that you never feel bad about using your friends for whatever it is that you need. And I think that's... So many people feel shame or anxiety or stress to ask their friends to come out, which might as well be on the other side of the world to where you live. But you don't, and I respect that. I respect that you look at your friends and you go, how do I milk everything out of you?
Do you know how sometimes they say that there's like a time and a place to bring things up?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not right now.
You just, I know you.
I'm complimenting you.
I know you, and I know you stewed in the car all the way. You came in with positive, passive-aggressive energy, and you waited for the podcast to start to bring in the straight aggressive energy.
I drove here with him. The only 2 things that he really said are, 1, how does Dylan live in this hellscape? And 2, that he's going to berate you for living here until you move back to Astoria.
I got to move back to Astoria. I told you this the other day. I mean, I wanted to tell this on the pod. I wanted Ray to hear. But I told you on the phone the other day, I had a thing with a guy. It is scary living here. And sometimes I forget where I am. But I walked out of my apartment the other day to go to the gym. This is 11 o'clock in the morning, okay?
See him throwing in that he went to the gym?
You got to do it, you know? I have my headphones in, so I can't really hear. And before I start playing music, though, I almost get hit. One of my big pet peeves is these scooters on the sidewalk.
Yeah, they're horrendous.
Moped comes, almost hits me, comes flying past me. And he's talking to him. He's doing that thing where he's talking to himself, but loud enough so I can hear. And he goes, "What's the point of the fucking horn if no one's going to move out of my way?" And he starts driving past me. He gets about 10 feet past me. I forget where I live, okay? And I go, "You're on the fucking sidewalk." He stops, turns around, and that's when I saw the face tattoos, okay? I saw the face tattoos, and I knew in my gut I had made a mistake. And I said, "Why on the sidewalk?" And he goes, "Because I do whatever the fuck I want." And that's when I knew I made a mistake. And he just started, he was like, "And then you're here, you making smart ass comments. What now you want to like," he was like, "Want to fight?" And I was like, "No." I was like, so I literally went, "All right, man. All right." And I got nervous, dude. I got nervous he was going to beat me up. And then I walked to the gym, and but at the very end, I was like, "Okay, calm down, dude. Calm down."
Hopefully you signed up for a self-defense class at that gym.
I was thought about it.
Pussy.
BBJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all that stuff.
Yeah, Brazilian.
Yeah, billionaires.
That's my favorite.
BBJ.
Yeah.
That's a porn category.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that for Ray. Thank God you had him as a co-host. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank God. And then he said when he was leaving me, he said, "You know what? have a blessed day anyway. And I was like, hey, that's nice. That's nice.
You were saying that was like a bad story. It really came through.
It got real. I was real scared for a second though. I almost turned around and ran back to my apartment.
Scared. I'm like have so much rage in my heart and like hatred, but I just feel like it has to be unleashed. You know what I do? I unleash it on my friends because I can't unleash it on anybody that I actually am mad at. So I unleash it on my friends.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it all the time.
That's really nice, man.
But I know that I do that, so that's good.
I had a little positive road thing happen in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
the story is not the safe place that you once thought it was. A lady diagonal from my apartment got hit by a cement truck on a city bike.
Stop. Mm-hmm. Really?
Got right in front of the Sparrow. Got hit by a cement truck.
Was it intentional?
And luckily the EMTs arrived and she's gonna be fine. But it was scary.
Were you there too?
No, she's not gonna be. She's dead. I don't know what. You can't just make up happy endings to stories. It's not the way the world works.
I thought that we were supposed to.
No,
I don't want people to be sad.
No,
to this.
So then here's what NYPD does is they start a security checkpoint right there for 3 days, and they stop every third car. And they stopped me in an Uber that I was in. I was going to see a movie.
What movie?
What movie?
Wakanda
That's
Forever.
Literally what I was thinking about too.
Wakanda Forever. Somebody died, but you're worried about Wakanda Forever. Actually, Chad Boseman died. I'm just bringing death with. I am the angel of death.
Dude, this is a good one.
No, but
this is a keeper.
But they stopped us and they gave my Uber driver a ticket.
Why?
For tinted windows.
Oh, why are they setting up a checkpoint? The lady's already dead. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what
more policing.
That's what he said that they do. The guy was like trying to make small talk with us while he had us stop. He was like, "Yeah, this is what we do. 72 hours. We really just kind of comb the neighborhood and make sure everybody's being safe. Normally, what we would do is just hand out flyers on safety, but we decided to stop people and run checkpoints." Like,
that's nice, dude. Real win. You are the angel of death. We just said it before the pod, but I want to bring it up again.
Yeah,
the last episode we recorded, Ray made a comment. He goes, we talking about Barbara Walters, and he goes, "Dad, is she dead or alive? I never even know." And dude, 3 days after the episode came out, Barbara Walters, dead.
I did that with Heath Ledger about 13 years ago.
No, you did not. Are you the reason?
I don't know, but I brought it up. I I said something about like Heath Ledger. Oh, yeah, he's dead. 2 days later, he died. I can't make this shit.
Oh, no. You are the angel of death. What did you call it, Colin?
Huh?
The Baba Yaga?
The Baba Yaga, yeah.
Oh, no. He's the pigeonch.
I'm not.
What is that?
The pigeonch is, a lot of people know it as the malocchio. That's what it is. It's like an Italian thing.
I think you're just making up words.
No, I know. I'll get my mother on the phone. I'll call my mother. But the malocchio is like a curse that you can put on somebody or you can get put on you, and you have to get rid of it. But my mother and my nanny always called it the pigeonch. And you do this. This is the Italian horns. Mm-hmm. And this is how you do. I would never point this at you because I would put it on you. But you keep the pigeonch or the malocchio away from you by doing this. Right now, if you get it on you, you have to go through this whole thing with oil and water, and sometimes the person that put the malocchio on you has to then take it off of you. There's many different things. You really should not
be careful with the horns.
Yeah, but I made a joke a couple times to Ray and to my mom and stuff, and I was like, I think it was when your knee was bad. I was like, I'm gonna like saying like, I pigeonch you. And I remember my mom calling after she found out his knee was bad and being like, I told you not to mess around with that stuff. Like, I don't know why you have to do that. My sister had a baby, and we said, she's so cute. She's the perfect baby. And she goes, don't say that. And I go, why? She's perfect. She's so happy. And she goes, you're gonna put the pigeonch on it. She goes, you can't, like she believes that if you talk too nicely about someone, like you're inviting this evil curse.
You're inviting something bad to happen.
Yes, right. Oh. You're inviting it in. Yeah. My mother also one day called me. She was a half hour late for work because she thought the birds were talking to her. I called her. I said, "Shouldn't you be at work?" She goes, "I'm not even kidding. I'm not even joking." She called me. I go, I hear she's in her car. I go, "It's 8:30. You're supposed to be at work like by 8 at the latest.
Yeah.
She works at a hospital. And she was like, I know. She said, I got up and then I heard the birds chirping and I could have sworn, I'm not even joking. She goes, I could have sworn one of them said, picture. And I thought, like, was there something with a picture I had to do? So then I sat in my car and I heard a bird and I remember thinking, like, her mom, she goes, Nunny always said, don't trust Sicilians. And I thought it said something about Sicily. And I was worried that maybe there was a Sicilian and we were not supposed to trust Sicilians. So I just sat there and listened to them for a while. But I'm on my way to work now.
There really is such a fine line between Italians and their cultures and just straight mental illness.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I told my mother if she talked to birds anymore, I was having her committed. I said, if I hear one more story about you talking to birds, I'll put you in a home. Right? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. My mother, her favorite thing to do is to get home from work, put on like a nightgown, you know what I mean? That and then
Make sauce.
Sit and with the reason she's so paranoid is because all she watches is the news and Criminal Minds. That's the only thing on her TV.
Dude, what is that? What is that with our
She loves
parents?
it. She loves Criminal Minds. She loves CSI, NCIS, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Blue Bloods.
Uh-huh.
She loves Blue Bloods.
Not on Netflix. It's got to be with commercials.
It's on USA or
Uh-huh.
it's on like Spike or whatever channel, is One TV. I don't know whatever it is. She watches the same 3 channels and she'll watch Criminal Minds until, I'm not kidding, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then she'll call me the next day and she'll be like, just be careful walking because I saw this guy, he was taking people off of subways and keeping them in his house. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Why don't you put anything else on, and you won't be so paranoid?
That's so.
I don't think it matters what she's watching that makes her paranoid. If she's getting messages from birds about the Sicilians,
I know. She's very clear. Like, do not trust any Sicilians.
What's the deal with Sicilians? Why don't you trust them?
It was something that my grandmother told her. My nanny told her not to trust Sicilians. She said they're not trustworthy. Mm-hmm. And now I've heard other people that are Italian say that, but Sicilians obviously don't say that.
It does seem racist a little
bit.
Because it is.
It is.
I've heard one other thing about Sicily, and people don't like it.
People don't like Sicily.
People don't like Sicily for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, you can't trust them. They're untrustworthy.
Seems racist.
I don't know.
Well, they are a shade different than the other Italians usually.
That's why it seems
I don't
racist,
think
dude.
so.
Yeah.
No, not Sicilian.
Sicilians are a lot tanner.
Are they really?
Yeah.
They're a little more Greek and Mediterranean looking, I think.
Oh, really?
That's why I think I've heard other Italians be a little racist towards their, Sicilian brothers and sisters.
I mean, I don't know any Sicilians, but
Point
You
proven.
used to live with a Sicilian.
he's Sicilian.
Brandon is 100% Sicilian.
That everything adds up. Honestly, everything adds up.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now.
All the Godfather, all the people in the Godfather, they're Sicilians.
That actually makes
they're all
sense.
criminals.
Yeah, that's maybe why people don't trust Sicilians.
See,
Yeah.
It also came from The Princess Bride. Never trust a Sicilian.
Oh, really?
That's in there.
does your mom do the CSI,
My-
NCIS shit?
My mom and dad, they watch it on television. I'll come home and they'll be watching like Criminal Minds or the Hawaii Five-0 is a big one. Or what does my dad watch? The one it's like it's not Chicago Fire, but like Chicago
PD.
PD. That one he likes.
familiar.
And I'm like, hey, all these shows are on Netflix. You can just watch them on Netflix.
But there's something about turning on a television and just letting it run
And getting
like there's no effort. There's no
pure comfort.
You don't have to scroll. You don't have to search anything. It doesn't ask you if you're still watching. You just turn it on and let it run.
Yeah.
It gives them comfort, like you said. It provides them with a sense of normalcy, I think.
Yeah, I think you need to have that Ion TV commercial
Right.
playing
Yeah.
every 20 minutes or so.
The commercial was when people would get their work done. Like you would throw something on TV. It'd be a half hour. You had about 8 minutes, chopped up to do whatever it is you were trying to accomplish. Wash dishes, fold laundry. That's when you could tune out. And then when you hear like the dum dum, you were like, it's time to tune back in. You know, I mean,
That's so true.
yeah, that's why, like, this binge watching thing, while it's great, you get nothing done.
Yeah.
You get nothing done when you binge watch something. I'll sit in front of a TV and binge watch a show, and in 3 hours, 4 hours will be gone because there's no break. There's no break in the television.
Did you watch Kaleidoscope? Have you guys seen it?
No.
No, what is
No,
it?
it's really good. I watched it. I finished it. It came out last week, so obviously I finished it already. It's a heist show, but all the episodes you can watch it in any order you want.
Oh, I heard that.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Did you watch it in any order? Or just the
I
order they
looked
gave
up
you?
like, hey, what's the best order to watch it in? And I watched it in that order. You're supposed to watch it. If you go on Netflix right now and you click on it, it will give you a randomized order. The only rule is you watch, it's called the white episode. You watch it last.
Oh.
Which is also cool. They're all named after colors, which seems like a little bit of an homage to Reservoir Dogs.
Sure, yeah.
So
I
it's
like
like
that.
the pink episode, the red episode, the blue, you know.
That's cool.
That's pretty
Also, a
awesome.
kaleidoscope has colors.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's so interesting.
That could be that too.
Wow,
don't know.
dude. It was good. It's got what's his name from Breaking Bad in it. The
Gus
Jesse
Fring.
Gus.
Pinkman.
Yeah.
Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, Jesse
Jesse
Pinkman.
Yeah.
Gus.
That guy, what's his name? Giancarlo something?
So, yeah,
Yeah.
Esposito.
Yeah. He's a good actor. He plays so many different
He's a chameleon, if you
yeah.
will.
Yeah. He plays so many, like, he's always kind of is he a bad guy in this?
No, he's a good guy.
Oh, he's
he's
a
like
good
the
guy.
main. He's like the lead.
Oh, that's
Is that a
cool.
spoiler?
I mean, to be honest, depending on which order you watch it in, possibly.
Wow.
Possibly.
Wow.
Yeah.
big
Not really,
spoiler.
but that's the cool thing, because I guess if you watch, like, it's all different time for. It's very cool. It's very cool. Anybody who's listening, check it out. It's very interesting.
They're just trying too hard now. I don't have any interest in this.
Well, it's a one and done. You
Just
can't
give
make
me
a
the
sequel.
fucking linear
You know?
way to watch it. Start episode 1 to episode 9.
Nobody is more like, nobody needs things more than Ray. Like, nobody has more things to do and problems than Ray. Like, what are they
I'm
doing? What are they doing it like this? It's like, what is going on in your day that you couldn't watch? You could watch every combination of that show in 2 days.
That's not true. I've been ill.
You've been ill. You haven't been in a hospital.
I have been in a
You were in a
hospital. I
hospital
was
for a
in a
little
hospital
bit. You were in a
for
hospital
for 5 hours,
You
actually.
weren't checked in. You weren't in a bed.
With it.
Yeah, how are you feeling, buddy?
Oh my god! If I have to hear one more time about
Dylan,
this.
Dylan, thank you.
Oh
very
my
much.
god! I'm so
Well-
sick of it. Could you imagine Ray didn't feel well? He's been treating his body like a dump on Long Island for 33 years.
And that's actually
and-
actually the diagnosis.
Yeah, and he goes, my heart hurts, my chest hurts, and my stomach hurts. I'm surprised it took this long. That's how strong you are at being
Thank
ill,
you.
at being unhealthy.
Thank you.
You're so good at being unhealthy that you even tricked your own body into getting it.
my
this long.
grandfather-
Jesus died at 33.
My grandfather is still alive, 86 years old, has cancer, was a raging alcoholic and drug addict for 60 of those years. So yeah, it's a bummer that I'm hitting a roadblock here at 33.
So what happened? You had to like you went to the hospital?
Yeah, I went to the hospital. I had just gotten over the flu, and I've been noticing some issues with my stomach and my chest, and a little bit of my like esophagus type deal.
Yeah.
And it turns out I have gastroesophageal reflux disease.
GERD. He has GERD. That's how it's called
I hate
GERD.
calling it fucking.
It's called GERD.
GERD.
I don't
What,
like that.
what does
It's
what
basically
causes that?
like fat asshole disease, is what it sounds like. Is that like the nurse was telling me that there's certain triggers that I'm gonna have. She's like,
Can I guess the triggers?
Yes.
before you say
fucking-
'em?
Yeah, go ahead, guess.
I'm gonna guess alcohol.
Probably.
I'm gonna guess cheese,
Fried
no,
food.
not cheese.
fried food. No,
Dairy-
not cheese.
Dairy doesn't really do a number on. Well, everybody has their own individual triggers. I gotta find that out. I gotta get fucking scoped. I gotta shove something down my throat.
Yeah, they're gonna put you under.
Ooh, yeah. Have you ever had that done?
No,
Dude,
never.
I've noticed I had a colonoscopy like 2 years ago, and yeah, I noticed that like older people over there like 45, they'll call it a procedure. Like my uncle had it, and I drove him. He's like, Dylan, I have a procedure next week. Could you drive me to it? It just so happened that I had a colonoscopy literally a week after, and he, as I'm driving him, I'm like, so what are you doing? He's like, it's a it's a colonoscopy, but I was like, why don't you just say that? And he goes, he's called a procedure. I go,
I'm not gay.
I go, well, I'm having a colonoscopy next week, and I could ask you about it. So I could, get a little information. If you're being transparent, if I had no idea, I wouldn't ask you. And he goes, oh, yeah, okay. And then he told me, I was nervous about doing it, Dad.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
I drove both of my parents to their colonoscopies, and it's tough. My dad had his. My dad is so Irish, refuses to, feel like he doesn't want to put anybody out and doesn't want to really be cared for, right? So we go to the colonoscopy. We have to get there super early, and you clean yourself out, right? So we go there, and he does it, and he comes to. He wakes up, and I don't know if they were trying to get him to go in a wheelchair. He refused to sit in a wheelchair, and he said to the nurse, he looks at me and he goes, "Give me the keys." and they go, "Sir, I don't think you should be driving." He goes, "Oh, we were just gonna go get breakfast." And they're like, "Sir, you still have the anesthesia wearing off. We recommend you just going home, in case there's an accident. There's a lot of air in your system. They didn't want him to go to the bathroom."
Shit himself.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Okay, fine." So he goes, "I guess we won't go out." And I do get the keys from him. We're 5 minutes into the car ride, and I just hear this. And I look over, and my dad had dropped his phone on the floor and was slumped over. He fell asleep, and, he was shot in the back of the head. It was like the Irishman was behind him, and he had slumped over. And I was like, "Thank God you didn't drive, dude," because there was no warning. There was no I'm nodding off. There was no tilt my head back. It was I heard his phone hit, and I looked over, and he was crumpled.
Dude.
In his own lap.
That's crazy. So funny. Dude, when I had to do it, I was nervous that you got to take that prep stuff and it makes you shit yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad told me, he's like, "Dylan, as soon as you drink that, he's like, you cannot leave the house."
Right.
And I was like, which sounded like he was speaking from experience, which, clearly there was an
They
insight.
tell you to get baby wipes because you're wiping so much.
It was.
Did you shit yourself?
No, but I took it and 3 minutes went by, and my dad's like, "It's pretty much immediate." So there was a moment about 4.5 minutes in where I was like, maybe this isn't going to work for me. Maybe this is not, I just thought my body was just like a steel trap. It's just this extreme laxative is not going to work. And then all of a sudden I was just like, oh my God. It's literally a fire hose.
All aboard.
Sorry for those listening in the car going to work on Wednesday morning, but it is a fire hose, and it's up and down for the next hours.
Have you sober shit yourself as an adult?
Not as an adult. As a kid, I did once.
Because I heard this thing.
As an adult.
Well, listen to me. You know about this, I think.
Is this our friend in LA?
No, I heard this thing that happens from multiple of my friends. Right when I turned 30, they were older than me. They would say you're gonna shit your pants in your 30s. I was like, no, I'm not. They're like, I shit my pants in my 30s. Everybody does it. It happens. And they're basically talking about trusting a fart.
Sure.
And I was like, it's never gonna happen. So almost a year ago today, it was your birthday.
Yeah.
And I took you out for wings at Halsey's in Astoria.
Yeah.
Great place.
And I'm walking home. And you were going. I forget where you were going, but I was gonna go meet up with our buddy, and I'm 100 yards, maybe 200 yards from my apartment, and I had to shit when I dropped you off.
Yeah. Those wings didn't. They were not good. Something was up.
They weren't good wings.
Yeah.
They were rated highly, but they did something on my stomach.
Really?
And I was debating on popping up to Collin's and just shitting there, and I was like, you know what I mean? I could tough it out. He's only a 10-minute walk, so I'm 100 yards away from my house, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let a little fart out, and it'll buy me some time to get there. And no, I trusted it. I fucked up. I went inside, cleaned myself off, got a shower, threw the underwear away, texted our buddy, and was like, hey, I'm not going to make it out tonight, man. Work's just been really kicking my ass. I'm tired. And he's like, fuck you, dude. You always flake, blah, 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 blah. So I see him a week later. He's in his 30s. I tell him this story. I finally confess to him. He's laughing. He's like, fuck with me the whole time. He's making fun of me. He calls me a week later and says, dude, I jinxed myself. I was at the coffee shop but right by my house, I had to take a shit. So I start running up my steps. I trip on the top step, shit my pants, and splash the coffee all over the top step of the apartment building.
That's tough, man. That's a day
rough one,
ruiner.
dude.
That's a day. That's where you go, we'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go
You
out after
hose
that.
off and you get in bed and you go, I'm done.
Yeah,
Put on some gym shorts.
You cannot go and meet up with friends. You gotta just take a step back. Hang out.
You know what? Recently, we just had a show together, and I didn't soil myself, but like okay. So two things happened. This is so embarrassing, but we were in Pittsburgh for the holidays, and I didn't pack enough clothes, so I ran out of underwear, and I didn't realize until like 2 hours before the show. I should have just went and bought underwear, but instead I did the most dirtbag thing you can do, where I wore gym shorts and then I put jeans over my gym shorts.
Okay, white rapper from Detroit.
Scumbag.
Yeah. So I wear gym shorts under my jeans, and I think I bought underwear the next morning. But my sister got me an espresso machine that makes espresso.
Okay.
And I love it. And I had an espresso for breakfast, and then I had a double espresso that I drank on the way to the show. And we do the first show, no problem. I have a little bit of dinner, and I'm hosting the second show, and we're like 10 minutes before showtime, and I'm like, I think my stomach hurts. Like, my stomach is starting to rumble, and I was supposed to do 20 minutes. So I'm like, I'll be fine. There's no time to go to the bathroom, but I'll be fine. And Ray's coming after me. I get on stage, dude. I was burning through material. It was all I could think about. I hit like 18 or 17 minutes and like had done my closer, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm like, I couldn't focus on jokes. I couldn't focus on the crowd. So I did like 3 more minutes. I hit 20. Did not really get like a pop because I just was rushing. I brought Ray on and walked off stage, walked to the back of the club, went to the bathroom. Like, I didn't even go to the green room because there was another comic in there. I went to the public bathroom, and it's all I could think about. It's all I could think about.
He right after he brought me back off stage, he was just like, oh, I'm gonna shit my pants. Just had this like look on his face. It's like, I'm gonna shit my pants.
I thought I was gonna.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
I don't know. I've performed like sick before. Like,
yeah, me too.
Cold, headache, flu-y, stuff like that. Usually, like, you kind of just like sweat through it. Mm-hmm. But that was the first time where I was like, I don't know if I can make this. I thought I was gonna have to get off early.
Yeah, that's tough. Nothing like also using a public bathroom after a show and you see someone from the audience in that public bathroom.
I waited because I heard people come in and out, and I waited until they were done.
You know, David Kay told me he once shit his pants on stage.
Really?
Like, yeah,
Really? You used his name.
This comic in Pittsburgh. I don't think he's shy about it. He told me when he barely knew me because he was yelling at me because I was trying to cancel on a show. He was like, I've never canceled on a show in my life, and I was like, really? You never canceled when you were sick? He was like, nope, I wouldn't shit my pants on stage. I was so sick.
Wow. Performing sick is not as bad as in my opinion, is like performing like drunk or like under the influence. I think I'd rather perform.
You're not a big
sick.
drunk performer?
No. I've done it twice and it was a disaster. He is a
Before he even said it, he goes, I am. Yeah. I go, I know what you're going to say, right?
I'm a drunk performer. I'm not a hungover performer.
Yeah.
I can't perform hungover well.
Yeah.
Fuzzy.
Do you think you can perform drunk well?
I have.
I have seen you.
You've seen me do well.
I've seen you do so bad too. This one time, I'll tell you the story. This one time, I'm so glad to be on this. This one time, I saw Ray once do really well drunk. He came. It was the Pirates opening day in Pittsburgh, and we had a show at this like gaming place, like where people would come and play video games and stuff and arcade games. Yeah. And they did this show, and Ray was supposed to close, and he comes in, and he's just like, you could tell, like he comes in, and he's like, "What's up?" Like, and you're like, oh my, and me and our buddy Andy were there, and we're like, you are hit. He was like, nah, dude, I'm fine. And like, I think they were serving drinks. He had
serving
that,
me,
he had
dude.
that like that sort of when you're so drunk where like all the color leaves your face, like white as a ghost, and like in a hoodie. and he closes, he does his set, and he does well, but it's so obvious that he's drunk. He's just like he'd like forget a line. He's like, I'm hammered, whatever. I'm hammered. And people are having a good time, and we can't believe it that he's like doing well, but he's doing well because he's acknowledged it, right?
Yeah.
Couple years later, we go on this little tour, and we're like, it's like Buffalo, Cincinnati, Columbus, something like that, and we do this show, and it was one of those runs of shows where you're like, we're sleeping in like Super 8s. We shared a bed most of the tour. Like it was like
it's cute.
It was so
nice.
uncomfortable. Like everything was uncomfortable. Yeah. But we did this show in Buffalo, and they had a dive bar and like, you know, drink tickets and whatever. Even if you didn't have drink tickets, like, you know, the drinks are so cheap. And
fucking awesome.
Ray is hammered, and they had like a tater tot bar out for free. You could just like go up
and nachos.
Tater tots and nachos, like cheese and chili and toppings.
It's kind of the dream.
And Ray makes himself a little boat of tater tots, and like I think you were going in the middle of the show, and which we should have just put you up first, but and just like got rid of you. But you had like 20 minutes in the middle of the show, and he's like doing it hammered, eating tater tots. He ate the tater tots during his set. He brought the food on stage with him and did his set eating tater tots.
Sorry,
it was the most unprofessional thing I think I've ever seen to date in comedy. And I've seen some crazy things.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want my blood sugar to get low.
Yeah, your blood sugar. Yeah. His at that point, like his body weight was mostly Miller Lite. Like it was.
I was doing shots too.
Yeah,
I was doing shots.
It's not helping.
Don't you dare tell me I got that drunk from just beer, bro.
It was, but I will say on that same trip, I blacked out and you took care of me.
That's Collin Chamberlain's thing. Is you know how they say that some people can't handle Vegas? Did you ever hear that?
Oh yeah, that's a
Collin can't handle Cincinnati.
Yeah, 2 times in my life I've gotten like to the point where I don't remember the evening. I don't remember how I got home.
That's the drunkest you've been?
Up until recently. But
we got so drunk in Cincinnati this one night. He was definitely way drunker than I was. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Actually, I do know how it happened. They were giving us free beer and liquor at the show. And it was after the show because Collin's fucking so professional.
Yeah, and I know. I'm a real pro. I don't eat during my act.
Don't eat gravy and potatoes on stage.
Tater tots. I don't stuff my face with tater tots.
Do you think I'm not paying for right now that I got gastroesophageal?
You got GERD. Yeah,
you got GERD.
It should have happened so much sooner. It's not fair. There are people that like have diabetes and they take care of themselves, and there are people that have real problems and they take care of themselves. You've done nothing to help yourself and benefit yourself, and you're only now just paying for it.
I'm a great friend. I'm being rewarded for being a great friend to you.
We live in a cruel world.
This is an example of me being rewarded with good health for being a great friend. Is because Collin gets so fucking drunk in Cincinnati. This kid rolls on us. He's probably freshly 21, and he goes, oh, he finds out we're comedians. It's after the show in Cincinnati, and he's like, oh, you two are comedians. Oh, why don't you roast me? Come and roast me. And then I go, man. I was like, we don't want to roast you. Come on, we're just trying to hang out. And he's like, no, you're funny. Roast me. And he keeps going. And finally, Collin and I are like, hey, man, if we roast you, we're going to hurt your fucking feelings. So he keeps pushing and pushing. And finally, we just start going in on him. And he's thinking it's funny at first. And then he starts getting like sad and upset. And you could tell he's uncomfortable. And then he's like, okay, all right. It was fun. Cool meeting you guys. So it's like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes later. And we're kind of getting ready to leave. Actually, me and Collin were going to a street meat stand across the street. But the kid comes and rolls on us again and says something like...
Now, he told us before, he goes, just don't make fun of my dad being dead. So he said that preemptively.
He did. He said, just don't make fun of my dad being dead.
Yeah.
He rolls on us outside and starts like motherfucking us and trying to like fight us now. And then I'm putting my hand on his chest, and another one of our buddies is doing the same, like pushing him back, and Collin's like behind us, like eating. He's like, fuck you, dude. He's like, and then Collin hits him with the, I hope your dad comes back to life. And then he dies again.
Oh my God,
He
dude.
wanted to fight so bad. And then he just left because there was 3 of us.
Yo.
I don't.
Don't remember?
He has zero recollection.
See,
And then the next, maybe it wasn't the next year, but the year after we went back to Cincinnati, similar situation where I don't really remember. I think I fell asleep on your shoulder on the way home.
Yeah.
I don't remember getting in. I woke up on like an army cot in the hotel room, and
I was eating a cookie in the morning, and Colin's like, oh, dude, you got cookies? I was like, yeah, you had 3 of them with me last time. We were eating a bunch of cookies. It was like what do they call them? It's a double tree that gives you the free chocolate chip cookie.
yeah.
dude, that is the worst. I remember in college one time, I blacked out my junior year. I remember it was my junior year because I was dating this girl at the time, and we ordered Chinese food. And I was so excited for it to come. And from like, I ordered it, and then I must have blacked out because the next like morning I woke up and I was like, oh, we never ate the Chinese food. And I was so upset. And my girlfriend at the time was like, you ate so much Chinese food.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no, I didn't even get any crab rangoon. She's like, you ate all the crab rangoon.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
and how disappointing was that? Like, so many calories, and I
You
didn't
can't
any
it.
of the
Yeah,
joy
that's
from
the
it.
worst.
I didn't
Yeah.
remember any of that mouth joy.
At least if you didn't eat it and you forgot about it, it would have been there the next day.
morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
That happened?
nothing like that. There's nothing like waking up kind of hungover to like leftovers, good leftovers.
A little like
yeah.
lo mein.
Yeah, right.
In college, my ex-girlfriend, we went to this banquet party for her accounting classes or whatever it was, and everybody got like pretty hammered, and they think till this day, they swear the girls think that they got roofied by somebody that was there. And
Ray was there.
so
Ray's here.
no, I don't even know how to get my hands on those roofies. And
Yeah, that's the bar. Ray's like,
He's like, I don't even know where to get them.
I wouldn't even know where to go.
Not that I wouldn't do it, but I don't know where to get them.
if anybody out there, no. So so me and her leave the accounting thing. This is before we knew that maybe they got roofied or drugged or whatever. And I'm like, she's so drunk. And I was like, why is she does like, I feel like she didn't drink enough to warrant how hit she is. And she was like, let's get food. And I was like, all right, let's get food. So we go into this pizza place. I order a large pizza, and I'm like a mile maybe from this, like a mile walk. And I order this big pizza. She falls asleep sitting in the fucking pizza shop, like on the floor. I'm like, God damn it. So I wait and I get the pizza, and right when I'm about to grab her, this guy is like taking a picture of her, this other college student. I was like, dude. And he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I just thought it was funny that she was sleeping in here and has like sunglasses on and blah, blah, blah. And I go, all right, dude, if you take the picture, I'll let you take the picture. Can you just put the pizza on top of her when I pick her up? So I carry her and the pizza on top of her about almost a full fucking mile back to my house in college. I get her back there. I get her in bed. Like, I make sure like she has a bucket next to her, and I fall asleep, completely forgetting about the pizza.
Oh, it's so
and then the best part of it was that I saved her from whatever predator was trying to,
How
get her
lucky
through.
she was.
But
to
more
be with you.
importantly, is that I
You
walked
carried
out-
her home with a hot pizza on her.
I kept her warm.
Ray's just walking
she woke,
around.
she's like, why does my stomach smell like pepperoni?
Yeah,
I kept.
I have grease stains on my crop top. Yeah,
But then I go out, and on my washer and dryer, there's just a full pizza sitting out there.
that's
Full
nice.
pizza was
That's
awesome.
pretty nice.
That's nice.
And she got a
that's-
slice in the morning to help
But
with her hangover.
sometimes I think you roll the dice too many times. Like as I'm getting older, I'm like I am having to drink less and feeling worse and blacking out more. Like I don't know. I think it's just I'm losing steam.
Can I make something up? I don't know if this is true,
Sure,
but
you could have just said it.
Yeah.
And we
No,
would
I
have
wouldn't
never
have
known.
no idea.
Yeah. Hey, can I make something up? Yeah, you could do what you always do. You could just talk to
I'm
people.
saying,
always
you know how
talk.
like when a boxer or a UFC fighter doesn't get knocked out a lot in their career, and then finally they get knocked out, and it's like the floodgates open, and they're getting knocked out like every single fight.
They lose their chin.
Does that happen with blacking out? Is there any similar?
Yeah,
is there
I
any
think so.
correlation to that? Like once you black out, you just do it all the time.
I think it happens
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
I do it about 60% of the time.
My mother would say you've upset somebody. You know what I mean? She would say it's happening to you because there's a curse on you. You know, like
what is it called? The Baba Yaga?
The some people call it the malocchio. She calls it the pigeonch.
Malloy or the
I wish we could
pigeonch?
have the pigeonch. I wish we could have
Pigeonch.
her here. I almost want to call her and see if she can explain.
So this is the hand signal?
yeah, this.
Oh,
there's
Don't point it at me, dude.
this is to keep stop.
For those listening, Ray just pointed the horns
Well,
at
he
Collin.
actually fucking pigeonluched me a couple times for real, and it.
I think that's when your car was getting towed.
It had a serious negative effect on my life.
I wonder if my mother's available.
That is,
Should I call her?
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
dude. That is what happened.
If you can call her and get her on the pod to talk about the pigeonluch, I'm fascinated.
Wow.
Let's just see if she can explain it for us.
Because mostly this is how like all the guys on The Sopranos talk. They always pigeonluch people. Maybe that's why
Now they're doing
Wow,
more of
she
a.
said, hang on.
two
I can't
two
talk
rings
right
into the
now.
voicemail.
Hang on, let me try her work phone.
She can't talk right now.
Oh wait, I know what I'll do. I'll do this. Sometimes her work. Because I'll tell you what, she's adamant that it will affect your life.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know, I got a lot of
it
positive
affect-
things
So
coming up.
so there's this. There's the two. You put your thumb and your two middle fingers in, and you point your pointer finger and pinky out, and that's how you keep it away from you. There's also like
you keep it
there-
away?
Like there's an Italian pepper that like can keep you safe, and like a horn. She must.
Is it a horn or a pepper? That necklace that all those.
That's usually a horn.
That's a horn.
That's
It looks
usually
like a
horn.
pepper,
There's also a pepper. The peppers are good.
interesting.
You put a pigeonluch on me as a joke, and I remember you did it when you were with your mom. I think we were over the phone.
Yeah.
And
She was
she
upset.
got legitimately pissed off. And within a week, my next month consisted of me getting 2 boots on my car.
I mean, it's nothing to mess around with.
No, I have
clearly.
a question for your mom. I wish we could get her on the call because on the pod because if I call the episode the pigeonluch episode, is that bad luck?
You'd be walking a very fine
Right?
line.
Like if I name it,
and I'm already superstitious enough
Yeah.
where like real what's my biggest fear?
Being possessed.
Yeah, and demons. Like I'm afraid of demons.
He's afraid of being possessed.
I was just watching Jennifer's Body when you guys walked in.
I saw that. That was
Not bad.
It's kind of a strange thing to watch by yourself.
Yeah.
at
you know.
noon.
Just a weird thing to have.
I just had it
Monday.
on in the background while I
Yeah.
was setting all this up.
It's noon on a Monday and you were watching Jennifer's Body.
It's
What
on
a
in the
fucking
background,
way to
dude.
start your week.
It's on in the background. You know, she's a confident, young entrepreneurial woman who's killing guys. So,
Right.
I think it's a great way to start the week, honestly.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of a better way.
I'm not that superstitious. I'm really only superstitious when it comes to gambling.
You are superstitious about like where you're. I feel like if you put a bet on something and then you say something about the team or like where you're sitting or something like that. You're superstitious when your money is involved. I'm superstitious when it's the
devil's involved.
the devil in my soul.
That used to be my biggest fear as a kid. I used to be like super scared of being possessed also.
Now my mother, she's in a meeting and she's going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Because she won't answer the phone, but she'll assume the worst.
Yeah.
Right now, she's like, you know what's? I wish I had this screenshot. Do you remember? It was maybe last summer, we had that huge storm and the subways flooded and like cars were like washing down the street.
Yeah, and like rats are swimming and people are like up to their waist in sewage
if
water.
I can find it here. The word for word message. Oh man, I must have deleted it.
While Colin looks for that, Ray, have you been drinking a lot lately?
Dude, I am dry January, buddy.
You are dry still?
Dude, this
Wow.
So I had the flu
Yes.
to start the new year, and then I had this esophagus thing happening.
GERD.
And
GERD.
it sounds like a fat lady.
Dude, honestly,
Sounds like
Ray,
a gross fat lady.
the first
like,
the
ooh,
first
dude, you fucked GERD last
level.
night?
Yo.
Can you believe Ray hooked up with GERD?
Hey, my friend thinks you're really cute. Oh, cool. What's her name? Oh, it's GERD right over there.
Oh, she's like the bridesmaid that's like nobody's
Never
dancing
a
with.
bride,
Yeah.
always a bridesmaid.
The message that my mother sent me last summer when we had all that horrible flooding, in New York. She sent me a message, something along the lines of like, "Are you okay?" And then I didn't answer, and she didn't call, but she said something like, "Are you okay? I just talked to your sister. She said she talked to you." I said, "Yeah, why?" She said, "Well, I saw all of the rain, but I didn't want to call and bother you because I just assumed if you had drowned, somebody would let me know."
Yo.
The ultimate mom text right there.
Somebody would let me. Do you know what she told me? I don't know why this is turning into. Oh, wait. Here we go.
Oh, she's calling you back?
Mom.
What's up?
Do you have a minute?
Yes.
I'm on a podcast, and I need you to explain the pigeonch real quick.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can do that real quick. It's so much involved.
Can you try to just summarize, like, what it, like, if you were talking, like, how do you get it, or how would you put it on somebody?
No, if you pigeonch, like, you could pigeonch something, like, you don't want to say, like, Valley's beautiful because that's pigeonching her, like, you're bringing her bad luck.
Right.
Like, she could get her face scarred or something. But you do pigeonch people because you want to, sometimes like football teams, they pigeonch because we don't want them to beat the Steelers.
Right. And you would do that with your fingers.
Yeah, that's fine with your fingers. Like you can do that. Like I do it to the other teams that play the Steelers. But you don't want to pigeonch yourself or like Valley or somebody by saying too many nice things out loud.
And then that's the same as the malocchio?
Yes.
Yeah. And then how do you get rid of it?
Well, you don't. I mean, you get a horn that keeps those bad things away from you.
Right.
Is that the necklace?
And brings you good luck.
Yeah, you can wear the necklace.
Oh.
Do you still have a chain?
Yes, Hannah stole mine.
Oh, wow. No wonder. And then last but not least, why did Nunny say not to trust Sicilians?
Oh, because they stab you in the back. I mean, I just talked to a Sicilian when I was drawing his blood, and he literally said, I said, "Oh, you're a Sicilian." He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna like they'll cut your throat and make like a Sicilian necktie, they call it."
All right. Well, I think that's.
Are you laughing at me?
They're not laughing.
No,
We're
it's
just
true.
surprised. We're just surprised.
No, you don't trust Sicilians. Like I'm not really even supposed to talk to them, but I had to.
I know.
Because they will. You don't.
Well, what
trust
did the
them
birds
ever.
tell you?
The birds absolutely said, "Don't trust. You never trust a Sicilian." Because they want to just know, and you could tell their personality right off the bat.
You know they're Sicilian when you talk to them.
100%.
Wow.
100%. Oh, where are they going? All right. You
all right.
still need me?
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Love you, bye. I'm not making any of this up.
Your mom does not disappoint.
I didn't make any of that up. She said that so matter of factly.
No, nothing was funnier than you. Can you explain it in like a minute?
Well, I can't do it quick.
More than a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my God. For the first call in for this podcast, we're never going to top that
Yeah.
shit with a call in.
They'll stab you in the back.
She just had to take one's blood. Oh my God. Yeah, which I was like, is that a HIPAA violation? Possibly. He's like, I just had to take one of their blood.
She also said, I'm not supposed to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that? That's so funny.
I'm not even supposed to talk to them.
That is so
You can tell
funny.
by the personalities. The best one, she goes, I go, "Do you ever pigeonch somebody?" She goes, "Oh, if they're playing the Steelers and I want them to lose. If they're playing the Steelers, I'll pigeonch them."
That is the most Pittsburgh shit ever. Is this thing that she thinks is so evil and serious and can ruin somebody's life. But hey, if it's a group of 53 men playing the Steelers,
They're getting it.
pigeonch on you.
Yeah.
They're getting it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You just point at someone.
It's that's it like this, hands
just-
down. Yeah. I mean, if famously it was like Ronnie James Dio, the former singer of Black Sabbath, he did this as like the horns, like
yeah,
because
yeah.
he was Italian, and like that was the thing. That's how they turned the horns into the rock and roll thing, because it was like the devil horns.
He
almost.
started
yeah,
that.
yeah, that was him. That
so
was
okay. So if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
listening, it's rock and
Yeah.
roll, but upside down. You point your hand down.
pointed at whatever, pointed away from you.
Okay.
You
Also,
always
Texas
pointed away.
Longhorns do that.
You always pointed away
I think
from
Longhorns is.
No, Longhorns is this. Dude. Horns
Okay.
up.
What's Vandy? What's Vanderbilt? The Shocker.
you. I thought
I think
Star-
this is
Star Wars, Star Trek.
Vanderbilt.
That's Star Trek.
Star Trek's this.
Mhm.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt is a shocker.
This is good for audio.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
know.
just a bunch of hands.
No,
There's a video.
Is there a video
portion, right?
component?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
have
good.
YouTube and clips, and
watch
most
on
people. I think most people listen, but we get about 2/3 that listen and 1/3 that watch the YouTube video.
Wow.
So hey,
Dude, that was so funny.
oh my god,
And she believes it all.
It's-
Like she'll call me later and she'll be like, what did you or were you doing that to somebody? Like she'll be like, did you pigeonlude
She
somebody?
was like,
shouldn't joke around with that.
She was
Yeah.
legitimately pissed off at you when she thought you pigeonluched me.
Yeah, I know. She's so adamant about not saying too many nice things about like my niece, her granddaughter. She'll
know
be
what?
like,
Colin explains a lot of your personality.
does it?
That as a kid, your mother was probably too afraid to or too superstitious to say nice things to you and about you.
So
and it explains a lot of what we have sitting in front of us right now.
My nunny growing up, my grandparents lived with my mother. My nunny growing up was so dramatic and always like thought like convinced us we were always going to die. I'll give you an example. We are watching TV one day, and I don't know what it was. There was like a space shuttle going to space, and it blew up. And it wasn't a big famous one because I was too young for that. I
Wasn't
forget
the Challenger.
Yeah,
It was-
I don't know when it would have been, but it blows up. It could have just been like the anniversary, and they were playing footage. It might have well been that. But she goes, I remember we watch it on TV in her living room, and my nanny starts crying. She's like, oh my God. She goes, we're all going to die. She goes, we're going to die. Like, she's crying. And I remember thinking for like a minute, like, are these going to fall and hit us? Like, I thought that's what was going to happen. Like, the peas are going to fall and hit us.
Oh my god.
Here's another, I mean, my mom went to the same high school that I did, and when she was in high school, it had a bit of a drug problem there, the high school. And I remember
what drug?
Heroin. It was I went to my high school was known as Heroin High.
Wow.
Yeah. But I remember my mom's mom did two things. One, she used to dress her in bright clothes when she was in middle school. So when she was at recess, my nanny could drive up and watch her and make sure she could see her. And two, she told her not to drink from public water fountains in high school because they had heroin in the water.
Oh.
And my mother believed that.
Till this day, not drinking from water fountains.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Parents mess kids up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that,
But
I do.
the demon thing all came from her. She had crucifixes. She was always praying the rosary. She had palms everywhere in the house. If it rained, she would throw palms out in the rain to try to stop the storm. She was very superstitious,
Really?
very religious. But that was a thing. It was always like, I mean, this is crazy. I just thought of this. We were watching, my mother was pregnant with my youngest sister, and we were watching Lord of the Rings. And, like the orcs and stuff.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And my nunny got so mad at my mom. She goes, you can't watch scary images like this when you're pregnant because your baby's going to come out mentally challenged.
Oh, no.
She said, you can't watch, something's going to be wrong with the baby. You can't watch scary things like this when you're pregnant.
Oh, man. Holy shit. What a thing to say.
Yeah. And we were like, and imagine growing up like this and sort of just thinking this is how the world operates.
That's so funny.
Right? And the only saving grace is like my dad, when I would be with him, was sort of like counteract some of this. But like I said, he's Irish, and he's just it's you're fine.
He was like,
don't worry.
He was like, you are gonna die, but not from space explosion. Which is probably
it was just
old
like,
age and heart disease.
And he's
It'll be a long,
Ray will tell
slow
you
march
he's a
towards death.
different type. You know what I mean? I mean, you were in the car with him a couple times, and you could tell he's he's on another level.
His dad has.
I've talked to your dad
Yeah.
a few times. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a great guy. I love his dad.
Real good guy.
But he does this thing where he will talk about the worst shit on the face of this earth and then follow it up with just a mundane fact
Yeah.
to try to balance it out. Like he needs to do it
We
immediately.
were
me an example.
driving.
Give me an
We were
example.
driving through McKees Rocks, which is where he's from, and he was a firefighter in Stowe Rocks. He's a volunteer firefighter, and this is true. One of his first fires was a house fire, and a kid died. And he, I think it affected him growing up. But he said he tells his story like this is almost word for word. He goes, right over there was one of my first house fires. I remember a baby died, and we found the body, and I couldn't smell like cooked food for a while because it brought me back to that.
Holy shit.
And next door, they used to have penny candy. And you could go in there and buy. I used to get Charleston chews, and they had milkshakes in the back, and they had games. You go in there and play games.
But here's the thing.
And we were all like, what? Wait, what? There's like 3 of us in the car, like, do you need to talk about something? And then it would just continue through the entire McKee go, that place over there, there was mechanics, there was an explosion, 2 guys died, 1 guy lost their leg. Down the street, they had sandwiches. They're the best. They make their own bread, and the sandwiches were always fresh.
It was like 6 different examples of that, and him not joking even in the slightest. You know, he was like, yeah, that building right there collapsed. I killed a child. A brick smacked him on the head, dude. It was so much blood. I've never seen anything more than that. Anyways, Mancini's is right up the road though. You can get the best pepperoni rolls that you've ever had in your entire life. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I forget which one of us stopped him and were like, "Hey,
yeah,
you can't
so
do
funny.
this."
Wait, do you remember when we were having breakfast?
This morbid.
He's
fucking
talking about.
tour guide.
He's talking about the chocolate milk.
Oh, dude, it was like one of the early times he visited New York when Collin and I first like moved up here, and we're eating breakfast, and it's me, Collin, Collin's dad, and Collin's sister, and they invited me, and his dad just sitting there. And goes, so hey, how is your mom with you living out here and coming to New York? Is she pretty supportive? I was like, yeah. I was like, I've been blessed, man. My mom's really supportive. And then he goes, yeah. I feel like my mom really never supported me in anything.
He's like, he goes, no, my mom, I turned 18. She said, figure it out. Dude, go get a job. Do your thing.
Anywho, this is really good chocolate milk they got here. This is my favorite kind.
That's literally what he goes. He goes, they have great chocolate milk here. I like it when they mix it. When they mix it there.
And then he just rips a swig of it. And then I go, because you don't know what to say. Am I supposed to comment on the mom issues, or am I supposed to comment on the delicious chocolate milk that you just had, bud?
So when you look at me and you go, you came in kind of passive aggressive, and then does it add up a little bit now?
Yeah.
Does it add up?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Right.
And on that, you always comment on the milk. I was raised in a way you ignore the other thing, and you go, you know what? I love this milk too.
Right.
And then you've moved on.
The amount of times my sisters or my mother has been crying at a dinner table, and we just go, can you pass the green beans? No one says a word. Like it's not even happening. Like it's not happening. We just go, can you hand me that?
See, I was raised in a way to like not want anybody to feel bad, so I would have had to say something way worse. Like would be my instinct there.
Yeah, that's why you and my mom are so similar.
I'd be like, my life fucking sucks, dude. Look, my life sucks too, man. My dad wasn't always there.
Ray and my mom both do the same thing, where they'll both go, "You want a treat? Do you want something? Maybe you want something sweet. Would that help?" Ray
fixers.
would always,
they're
yes,
fixers.
they're fixers, and I realized that
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean,
me and you, I think we're ignorers. We just kind of.
When you're in 3rd grade and you're
Time will
like,
get
people
things
bully
better.
me because I have breasts, and she'll be like, well, that's not nice. Let's go to McDonald's. And you're like, you're enabling
Hey,
me.
let's go to McDonald's and plump those fuckers up.
Yeah, right. I did it though. I caught myself doing it.
You're gonna have breasts, but you're gonna have the biggest breasts in school, son.
My sisters and I had my mom's birthday is on January 1st. Let me say this about my mom. She goes, we were working New Year's Eve at the Improv.
Yeah.
Every year as kids, we'd spend New Year's Eve with my mom because at midnight it's her birthday. We'd have cake at midnight, something like that. This is like one of the first years. My sister has a kid, so she's not going to be out. She's going to bed early. My youngest sister's 18. She's going to a party, and I'm working at the Improv. And my mom calls me and she goes, so you're working tonight? I was like, yep. She's like, oh, okay. She was like, yeah, I guess Angela's going to a party and Hannah, she's going to stay at home with the baby. I go, okay, yeah. You just going to hang out? She's like, yeah, I'll just hang out at home. She was like, I'll probably just take a Benadryl and sleep through the ball drop. I go, what? She goes, I'll just take a Benadryl. Who wants to be up at midnight by themselves? I was like, oh my God, relax, Elvis. She's like, I mean, I'd just rather sleep through it. I would rather sleep through it. Like this, it's so dramatic. But I caught.
That's so funny.
She's a fixer. And I caught myself doing it. My sisters and I had to go out and buy her groceries. We bought groceries to make her dinner, and they were fighting about something. And I, as soon as we left the grocery store, it's tense. I go, does anybody want Taco Bell? I drive us all through Taco Bell. I get everybody some tacos and some chips and everything. We sit in the car and we eat it, and everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. And I go, I did it.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it coming, but I just did it.
Dude, I want Taco Bell so bad.
I know. Maybe we'll get some on the way home.
That is nice, dude.
No, you can't. Yeah, because you're GERD.
Oh, GERD.
You know why? I don't
Because
even
I've
feel
had
bad.
one too many Taco
I
Bells.
don't even feel bad
I'm not
because
asking for pity.
he's been playing with house money for the last 30 some years.
Ray's had more Taco Bell than both of us combined. Okay, he's enjoyed it more than us.
I actually had, probably out of all the fast food, it was the one that I used to have the most because I would drive. It was on the way back to my mom's house. There's a Taco Bell right by my mom's house, and I would be fucking hammered drunk, scoot right through the drive.
Hammered drunk driving. Yeah,
That was
driving.
before I learned my lesson.
Right before
Before the court
yeah
decided you needed to learn the lesson.
And even then, I don't think.
I figured it out.
Yeah,
Let's
good
just
now.
say this. Thank God. Oh, you do have a car in New York City. Thank God New York City is a walking town.
I drove here today.
yeah.
Well, it is new.
He's not drunk yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dry January.
Yeah.
Once they run the scope, they're gonna. And as soon as
Things
he
are
gets
about to
all
get
clear,
real wet.
yeah. As soon as he goes, as soon as the doctor goes, oh, it wasn't even related to your drinking. Look out! Look out! It's gonna be like they just ended prohibition. There is gonna be.
There's not. This was a health scare, bud.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I really am.
You should be.
Dude, the fact that I couldn't drink a fucking cup of water without having an issue.
And it was hurting.
It was hurting in my belly and in my chest. And here's the thing.
Say stomach.
Here's
Belly is so.
It's so
yeah,
bad,
but stomach
dude.
makes it sound so official. And I'm overweight.
My
when
belly.
When you're
it sounds like Santa Claus.
When you're overweight,
My
it's a belly.
Belly was hurting.
Skinny people don't
My
have
little
bellies.
belly.
Skinny people don't
My
have bellies.
tummy.
It's a fat belly. Fat people have belly.
Fat bellies. If you have a belly,
Fat belly
it's
girls?
all fat.
Fat bottom
Yeah,
girls?
belly is fat.
Yeah, you don't even have to say
There's too
fat
many
belly.
L's and Y's
Yeah.
in there.
My belly.
But no,
A
no, dude.
belly. It even sounds fat.
It does.
Yeah.
It gets caught in your jowls.
Yeah.
My
Jowl,
belly.
jowls is a fat word. Too.
Belly. Yeah.
Jowls and belly and gird are very fat words.
And that's crazy that they're all applying to you.
I don't have jowls, motherfucker.
No, you don't. You don't have
I'll
jobs.
punch you right in your jowls, fucking cocksucker. You got a lot of motherfucking nerve, dude. You know, I've been seeing you flaunt that hairy fucking belly out in front of me, dude. He loves doing it. He walks around his apartment. I go over
Really?
there. He has his fucking belly sticking out. He rubs it like a pervert. See what you do, dude. I see how you look at me. Like I'm just some type of fucking piece of me. Like I'm the one everybody wants a cat. You know what? I'll die for all your sins. That's what I'll do.
Oh, yeah?
Do you see how this has changed?
Jesus
right?
did?
Yeah.
We haven't said
I'll be the
anything
one
for
that you
30 seconds.
I'll be the one that you
and he
shit
just
on
runs.
because I'm such a drunk alcoholic and I eat
Yep.
so poorly.
He loves this.
Yeah.
I'm such
He
a
loves
piece
this.
of shit. I'll be your whipping post.
Ray's
If that's what's
favorite
fun.
thing is to
If
be a
that's
victim.
why you invited
Yo,
me to be.
yeah.
Loves to be the victim.
Dylan invited me to be his co-host now so that he had somebody to fucking whip and beat and take out all of his anger and his insecurities on. And that's
Well,
fine.
listen.
I'll be here to do that because I would do that for all my friends. I do that for you,
You get
Colin.
you get so upset, Mike, right? And I wish you would just settle down, Mike, right? I just don't know. In case there's a change, I don't want them to have to scrap the episode. So then I give Dylan the option to cut.
He's gonna have to cut somebody else in.
Yeah, we'll do it in post. It's like a deep fake.
Oh, it's very easy to do. You know,
Yeah.
I could do it on, Premiere Pro. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope I live through this.
Live through what? Do you like? It is crazy.
You know what,
It
though?
upsets me when he gets sick because I know it's the most like when he hurt his knee. That
was a bad injury.
Your knee was bad, but it was just like. It was so like he was like crawling up the stairs. He was bedridden.
Yeah.
Like
Do you
Crawling
know
up the
when?
stairs because I didn't have health insurance to get crutches, motherfucker.
Do you know when women always complain? They always complain about when men get
Oh,
sick.
women always be complaining.
When men get
Relax.
sick, it's
Relax,
the end of the
Bruce,
world. When women get sick, they like just work through it, or
Yeah.
they have to, they still take care of whatever they got, whether it's work, whether it's their family, they're just moving.
Right.
But when men get sick, it's like the world stops.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that stereotype comes from Ray.
No, it doesn't. He's
The way that you're acting right now.
that's just something these bitches be saying. Dude,
They love shopping.
Here's the thing. I've heard some people say that what I have going on right now is more painful than childbirth. I didn't say it, but I read it.
In his phone after he texted it to me.
I'm gonna look.
This is
let's
more
see.
painful than
Seriously.
Hey, actually, look up
up
this-
how painful GERD is.
Look up what would cause you to have GERD. Can you look up like some of the
Yeah.
reasons you
We
might
don't
get
need-
it?
Yeah, let's
You
look.
don't have to look it up.
It's basically acid reflux. So,
So a Tums. Have you tried a Tums?
I have tried a Tom.
rarely
I've tried multiple
requires
fucking
lab
Toms.
testing or imaging, can last several months, common for people ages 50 and older, and people who have treated their body like dumpsters. It says that,
It
actually.
doesn't say that.
Family history may increase likelihood.
I have to ask my dad if he has it.
Here we go.
It's you know what you're probably getting it from, Ray, is eating and then going to bed.
They say that is a cause. Also,
I'm sure.
eating and laying down.
Yeah, because you eat, you go to bed, lay down, and it just comes up your yeah. It's when the acid in your stomach comes up your esophagus.
Yeah. So here
Yeah.
acid.
GERD, dude.
Acid.
Well,
That's what fucking Two-Face got splashed on his face. Acid.
and you went to the,
and that is telling.
And it ruined his face.
and you went to the
And that's just,
hospital.
and that's just fucking floating around in my fucking chest and belly.
Your body's kind of like Two-Face. Like it has these two sides of it.
Your fucking personality's kind of like Two-Face.
Yeah, very
You
bipolar.
fucking cocksucker.
Coming in, this episode's really been nice and naughty and nice. If I was Santa, you'd be getting coal next year, but maybe a small present. Also,
Colin, you're getting
Thank
cold,
you.
dude.
Cold?
Cold, dude.
You're saying cold?
Cold, dude.
I mean, it's good because he adds a balance to the show.
dude, can you have hot wings? Can you eat buffalo wings?
No, he cannot.
That is my favorite food.
We should go tomorrow night, Tuesday.
Why would you do that?
He
You
can't.
can come. You can't come. We'll do
I could
Red
come
Lion.
and-
All
I
you
could come and watch you
25-cent
guys.
wings. Dude, that would be fun.
That would be
Watch
fun.
us.
And then after that, we should have a big bowl of tomato sauce. Just tomato sauce and
Maybe a couple
carbonated
beers,
yeah,
dude.
some
You
beers.
know I love the marinara.
Maybe
Why you
a
do
little
that to
garlic
me?
bread. We dip that.
Yeah.
in
What
the-
the fuck is wrong with
Tomato
you? That's
sauce,
like
dude.
rude, dude.
Last night he came to my apartment. He had a turkey sandwich and applesauce, and I thought about putting a gun to his head. If you're having a turkey sandwich and applesauce for dinner, get your affairs in order.
Oh boy.
Well, that is the oldest, lamest.
Did I have a blanket
Yeah,
over my
put
lap?
put a blanket over your legs. Yeah, to keep warm. Yeah,
Just that FDR blanket legs.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know that there were? I think there's a comic that has a joke about this. You know what? I can't remember if I saw it as a joke or if I saw it on a podcast or I read it in like an article. That there was a bunch of conspiracy theorists that like thought that FDR couldn't walk. Did you know that?
He couldn't.
Yeah, like there was a bunch of people. Like there was a while that the government was like keeping it a secret that like FDR like was fine and he was just always sitting.
Oh, I think I heard that.
He was
Yeah.
just lazy.
And then they were like, oh, there's nothing wrong because they were hiding it from the American people. They didn't want the world to know that FDR couldn't walk.
Did he have polio?
I think so. I don't know, dude.
It was polio. It was polio.
Yeah. So yeah, there was like all these people who were like, I don't know, dude. He's always sitting. Like, isn't that crazy that they
Yeah.
were right? So
Wait, they
lot of
were
conspiracy
trying to.
theories.
They were trying to.
They were trying to hide that he
That's
was in
legit.
a wheelchair.
Like, so there were definitely
wow.
people who were like probably questioning that, who were just like, "What are you, a fucking idiot? Are you a conspiracy theorist?" So think about it
And
today,
then really
guys.
they were right.
Question everything. The government wouldn't do that, but they would.
There's just like that era's Joe Rogan is sitting on like an AM radio.
It's a stump,
Like-
a stump in a backyard somewhere.
calling on cars. The FDR can't walk.
FDR can't walk, but they want you to think he can.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're past an hour, dude. How you feeling?
I feel great.
I'm
Ready. I'm ready to hit record.
Thanks for coming. Oh,
feel warmed
holy shit! I
I
haven't
feel
recorded.
warmed up and ready to record.
What a good prank.
What a great prank, right?
I once did that on my podcast. I recorded it cut in and out, and I didn't realize it till after I had hung up with the person, and I just never told them, and never. I was just like, "That was a great episode."
Hey, when is my episode coming out?
They lost it.
No, they didn't.
They did.
Did they really?
Mhm. I know. I'm
You know what? That
sorry.
sounds like an excuse for it not being a good episode. But
I don't even like podcasts anymore. So everybody knows the podcast.
When did you start hating podcasts?
right after I did the episode.
No, I would say like 12:05. p.m. today.
Okay, you want to tell the people where they can see you and find you and hear all about your fucking
I would love to.
Colin, tell everybody where
pessimistic
they,
behavior?
Yeah.
Colin, tell everybody where they can find you.
Thank you. It's good when you get two people with chemistry. You know what I mean? It just flows. I think
On
that's
three.
what nice.
I think Ray and I have great
Great
chemistry.
chemistry.
I think Ray would have. I think Ray's ideal situation is that if you hosted this show, but you never said it, like, because he doesn't like when people speak. You know that, right?
That's not true. Actually.
Like you got somebody that when you're talking to him and he's going, when is he done? When is he done? When is he done? When is he done? That's what's going on. In his head.
That is
You
not.
go-
That is you
you
on the
go-
phone. That's
you
you in
go-
a phone conversation with a friend.
You go,
That's how you
Ray.
This
Let me tell you
motherfucker
about.
is projecting.
Let me
He is
tell you.
projecting,
Let go,
Ray. I
Ray.
got your back,
Let me
dude.
tell you about my week. And you're like, I went to the store and then I did this. And in his head, he's like, how do I come off of this and be a cowboy? Like, how do I do a cowboy voice when he's done? How do I work that in? Hopefully, it says something where I can just be like, well, partner, I remember when I was. That's what it is.
First of all, you know that I never need a transition to turn into a cowboy, my friend. So hell, why don't you take a look at the fucking camera over there and tell these good people where they could find you?
I would
up
love
on
to.
the dusty trail.
Yeah. You could find me on Instagram at Collin_comedy. You could find me on TikTok the same, Twitter's the same, Facebook.
Ooh, doggy.
And
Hot Facebook.
Yeah, and we got some fun shows coming up. When does this come out?
On Wednesday.
I'll be in Wichita this weekend at the Wichita Looney
Wichita,
Bin.
Kansas.
Yeah,
Love
if
Wichita.
you're familiar. And Massachusetts is coming up. And,
Oh, massive. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
I don't go too far up north, but hell.
And check me out on YouTube. A lot of fun stuff on YouTube.
Okay, yeah. Follow him. Have some fun, Ray. Give him your plugs,
Yeah,
baby.
good luck down there in Wichita. There's some good people down there. Tell them I sent you.
I will. What is your name?
My name?
Mm-hmm.
Brick Flickman.
Brick Flickman.
Rick
That's
Flickman.
Yeah.
It's a darn pleasure to meet
What do you do?
What do I do?
Mhm.
I'm mostly herding.
Herding?
Yeah,
Mhm.
herd cattle.
Yeah.
Herding.
You do that with your husband, wife?
Buddy, hey. Now, I don't care what other people do in the privacy of their own home, but I know the good Lord wants
We got
me
'em.
to be with my wife. Now, hey, if you're into a man, that's fine. I don't think that's necessarily God's plan, but hey,
I'm just not a big religious guy. I just think it's like, don't you ever feel like it's kind of a fraud?
what
Do you ever
what's a fraud?
like, you know, I'm more of like a science guy, like evolution.
Yeah, who do you think invented science? You know, I ain't gonna do all this right now here. You can find me at Ray B Killing Them on all social media. That's gonna be your Twitter. That's gonna be your Instagrams. You could also find me on Facebook. And hell, check me out on YouTube. That's Ray Zawodni out there. Alrighty.
All right. At Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Troublemakers out every Wednesday. Guys, give it a listen. Give it a review. Rate, subscribe. We love you, baby. Clips are out every single day. We'll see you next week, baby. Good night.